And we're rolling. Hello everyone. This is another video. This one is going to be an analysis of a game I played on... One second, I'm referring to my log, where I keep all my games and all my notes about my adventures. Let's see. This was on June 22nd. This was my second day out on the road. This was in Connecticut at the Taino Chess Club. Highly recommend this chess club. Of all the ones I've gone to, this was the most casual and most chill. The person who runs it, Guziak, super cool dude. I got some games with him. Highly recommend this club. The sense of community there is awesome. Taino Chess Club. It's in, it's not in Milton. It's in Berlin. It's in Berlin, Connecticut. I check it out. But this game today is going to be against me playing a 1900 player named Alec Guziak. Alec Guziak. He's 1900 US CF. And the game I'm going to be showing today is a game that I won. This was important because it was the first game that I won on this trip that was actually of substance. Before this, about a week before I left on my road trip in Harvard Square, I usually play in Harvard Square. I had beat a 1800 once, in Blitz. We were playing, someone's honking at me. So I'm on a mountain right now. That's strange. I'm on a mountain in, that threw me off. I'm a bit worried now. Mountain in Pennsylvania. I'm like 2 hours east of Pittsburgh. I'm a bit nervous. Whatever. I'm going to continue. One take only. Where was I? In Harvard Square, my highest rated win was against 1800 in a Blitz game. This game, I played a 1900 and I won. So I'm going to show you the game and I'm going to break it down, all the ideas, the concepts, and the opening. I also have a new tripod, so my setup should be better. Is there a way for me to spin the camera? Nope. Okay, I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to start another video, and I'm going to edit them together, because, drop my tripod, I can edit now. Alrighty, so, with my tripod, there's a much better shot of my lovely board here. So I'm going to get into the game. I was playing with the black motherfucker. My camera fell. 1 second. I'm adjusting the tripod. Alright, I have like my foot on the base of it. The foundation of my tripod is a bit rocky. So we're going to make do. I'm playing the black pieces. My opponent, Alex, has the white pieces. And Alex opens with 1 d4. Now, I am a e4 player, so I usually don't know what to do against d4, or I didn't for the longest time. I'd played systems like, the Caro-Kann was my solid option that I played for the longest time. I'm very familiar with the Caro-Kann. But then one game I was playing in the tournament at Boston, and they played d4. I played the Caro-Kann, and then they played c4. And then when you try to do the Caro-Kann, it's a completely different structure. And this is called the Slav defense. I didn't know that this existed. So this was my main reason for I stopped playing the Caro-Kann, was because I would then I wouldn't have to, but I'd feel compelled to learn all of the Slav theory, which I just didn't want to do. And also, I feel like if I'm going to be a good chess player against d4, I should learn how to play d5. Principally, it just seems like the best move. It's fighting for the center in the most active way. So then, my opponent then played c4. The Queen's Gambit, everyone's favorite Netflix show. It is really good. I've rewatched it like 3 times. So c4, the Queen's Gambit. Now, Some of the main moves in the Queen's Gambit, you can take it and play the Queen's Gambit accepted, but e6 is usually an option. Knight f6 is an option. The move I've learned to play is knight c6. And now why knight c6, right? On the surface, this is called the Chigorin, by the way. Big fan of the opening, know nothing about the player. So knight c6, at face value, looks like a bad move because you're blocking in this c-pawn, right? So in Queen's Gambits, right, it looks, a normal game will look something like this, right? Here, say white gets this knight out, and then, I actually don't know how, and then eventually black pushes this pawn. That's why, putting the knight here in the Chigorin is weird, because this is more of a solid structure for black. It's more fighting for the center. And then, say white plays like this. Black can get the knight out, and it's not blocking the pawn. So that's some Queen's Gambit stuff. But that's not how this game went. Because I played a Chigorin. Because I'm tricky, and I like throwing people off their theory. So knight c6. Now after knight c6, knight c3 is the main move. Oop. It continues to fight for the center pawn here, right? If black plays nothing, like here, can white take, actually? Knight takes... Oh, yeah. White can just take this pawn. And then, like, you can't take it back with the queen, because the knight defends it. So then this knight has to go somewhere, probably just back. And, like, it's just bad, right? It's not good. You don't want to let white do that. So, this is the position. After knight c3, the main move in the Chigorin, or to make it a Chigorin, the move I learned, it's just easiest to learn this, is you just take this pawn. And you're accepting the Queen's Gambit a bit late. And the reason why you can do this now is because if white plays the standard Queen's Gambit idea of taking the center and opening up this bishop to attack this pawn, well, now it just doesn't work, right? Because now, after queen takes pawn, and the Queen's Gambit, this isn't protected. So now, after queen takes back, black can take with the knight, and yes, white will recapture the pawn, but black has a beautiful knight in the center, right? This is an outpost knight. No pawn... Oh, fuck that bishop. No pawns can kick it out of the way, so this is just a nice position for black. I'll rewind a little bit, if I can remember. There. Queen there. Queen here. And white did not play this yet. And is this the position? D4, D5. Queen's Gambit. Knight out. 1 second. Sorry about this. I'm running through it in my head. There. Knight there. Takes. White has a pawn there. That's it. Okay. Now this is the position. So D takes C4 was my last move. And now he played an interesting move. Now the main move here after this is knight here. Just developing your other knight. And you get interesting stuff after this, right? I think knight here is the move. And then... Oh, this is terrible. I gotta know my theory here. Here... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is not a full Chigorin analysis video. Maybe I'll do one of those later. But he played e3. And I know that this is not a good move for white. It's a solid move. But it's not the most fighting for an advantage, right? The idea is you still want to open this bishop up to capture this pawn, but this pawn is still defending this pawn. So all that knight, queen takes shenanigans doesn't work. And here in the actual game, I sat for a bit. I wanted to play e5 because like in the Chigorin, you often want to just like play e5 explosively and take the center. But here I wasn't sure if it was good because after e5, I did play e5. It turns out it was the move. I was correct, but in their game, I thought I made a mistake because e5 allows d5 by white, kicking this knight. And here I thought that, my position's falling apart, right? This bishop's hitting this pawn. My knight now has to move. I didn't like it. So I went knight e7, knight c to e7, which is the move as well. I'm still in theory, but I didn't know it. I guess I was just, on my ultra instinct shit, right? He then recaptured the bishop, or he recaptured the pawn with the bishop. I believe the best move is to wait on capturing this pawn and develop the knight, to put an attacker on this pawn. But I mean, recapturing with the bishop is fine as well, right? Like, you get your bishop back. Look at these pieces white has developed. Look at the center. Oh my god, what more can you ask for? I guess maybe e4 could have been an option as well, instead of recapturing, and you just secure the center. But I mean, he chose to take his pawn back, which, I mean, what's wrong with that, right? I then played knight g6, which is the move, right? I really enjoy the patterns of putting my knights on these, b3, b6, g3, g6 sort of squares. Because then you get stuff where you can hop them there, and they fight for the center, and some opponents, it's weird, right? Because the knight isn't there at the start, but then it gets there, and it's a whole fun thing. So knight g6. He then played queen to b3. Now why did he play queen b3? I remember why he played queen to b3. It's because, and I missed this during the game, queen b3 attacks this pawn. So now this bishop can't move, because then the queen can take this pawn, right? The bishop is defending the pawn. So after queen b3, I missed this, and I played bishop d6. Whoop. I didn't play it yet. I played bishop d6, just developing solidly. Or wait. No. Hold on. It does win a pawn, because I had to play... What did I have to play? I think I had to play this. Because after bishop d6, white can win a pawn, or not win a pawn, but gets a good position. This pawn also isn't here. Fuck you. That pawn's not supposed to be there. Bishop b5 check. Now bishop b5 check, it attacks the king. What options do I have to block? I can block with the queen and lose a queen. I don't want to do that. I can block with a pawn and lose a pawn after pawn takes. Pawn takes. Eee. Bishop takes with check again, and now, like, I'm down a pawn. So I didn't opt for that line. There and there. So the move that seemed the most reasonable to me was bishop d7. The best engine move was king e7. Just moving the king up, forbidding the right to castle. Forbidding, fuck it, that's the word, right? Forbidding the right to castle. And, now my king's in the center. I guess it's best because I don't lose a pawn this way, but I chose the more hardwired move. I'm very used, you block a check with a piece, right? That's just what you do. So I played bishop d7. He then played bishop takes d7 check. I, of course, what piece do I take back with? I still want a castle, so I take with the queen. And now you can see the power of queen b3, right? Because I moved my bishop that was protecting my b pawn. So now he can just play queen takes b7, right? And now, I mean, look at me. I'm falling apart here, right? Like, this is supposed to be, a good game. This was also our second game. I'll review our first game another time, but I wanted to show off a win. I'm making videos, I should show a win, right? Surely. So queen takes b7. He's now attacking my rook, threatening, you know, queen takes rook check, and like that's bad, so I have to defend that. The best move was rook to d8, giving up this pawn, but like you get stuff in the center. I didn't play this. I played queen to d8. Still, you know, I connect the rooks, or sorry, I connect my queen and my rook, right? So now he can't take that. Let me move my tripod back a bit. Whoop, 1 second, camera adjustment. We're good. Yeah, I just moved my queen back. It seems more principled to me, but I guess rook d8 makes a lot more sense. So after queen d8, my opponent played queen c6 check. Right there. Another strong move. His queen's just in my territory. And now I played king e7, which I should have just played earlier, but now I played it and I'm down a pawn, forbaiting my right to castle. And you know, here it's just clear that black is worse, right? White has a nice center. The queen's attacking the king. The king's in the center. This knight's not developed. White is better. White's up a pawn as well. So after this, he played knight f3, just developing his knight. I played rook to b8, getting my rook on the open file. Now, if you know, if this bishop moves, my rook can take the b2 pawn. So knight f3, rook b8. He castled, because, you know, he has the right to, and it would be nice if I could, but my king is on e7. Why is my king on e7? Because I missed what queen b3 did. So he castled, and then I played knight f6. Again, just developing, continuing the game further. He played bishop d2, developing. He connects his rooks. And I played king... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I've missed a move. He didn't play bishop d2. He first played b3. Because he had to protect his bishop. Or, sorry, protect his pawn. Sorry. He had to protect his pawn if he wanted to move his bishop. If what I pointed out earlier, which was wrong, he played bishop d2, then my rook can just take. So he plays this first, setting up bishop d2. So after b3, I played rook e8. And I'm trying to castle by hand the long way. So rook e8, now bishop d2, connecting his rooks, developing the bishop. I play king f8, and I'm castling by hand. He then played rook... Ooh, this is where it gets interesting. Rook a to c1. So, let's look before this position, right? If it was black's move, what would be the best move black could play, right? The knights are here ready to attack the king, but that's not enough, right? There's a piece black has that's not doing anything because it's hindered, right? And what that piece is this bishop here. This bishop would have vision on the king side, however, this pawn is in the way. So how do you stop this bishop from getting vision? Take a second, try to find it. It's a structural idea, right? This is why the pawns are the strongest pieces, because they control the layout of the battlefield, right? You can have the strongest soldier, but if he doesn't have a path to the battlefield, he can't fight, right? So what white had to play here was e4, shutting down my bishop, and now I have nothing, right? But he didn't play that. He played rook a to c1. So now, since we saw what white had to play, it's obvious what black will play now, right? I hope you see it. It should be obvious. We want to activate this bishop. How do we do that? e4. And now e4 is a bit explosive, right? It opens up the bishop and it kicks the knight. And there's so much behind this as well. Because now he has to play knight here to avoid tactics, right? But he didn't do that. he did not do that, and this is where I start to have some fun. He played knight g5. And now, if you notice, the thing about knight g5 is it puts this knight on the same diagonal as my queen. Meaning, if this knight wasn't here, this queen could take that knight. But my knight is there. So, having this information, let's look at where my knight can move, right? If my knight can play a check, right, I would then win the knight. Because if my knight could, say, magically jump here and check the king after he takes it, I would then take this guy, right? So, now that we know that, what is a way I can force my king, or rather, take advantage of that fact that if my knight can play a check, I win his knight? You can take a time to look for a move. It's a self-proclaimed brilliant move. I didn't check the chess.com engine if it is. But I'm very proud of this move. This is probably my favorite move I've ever played. And the move is, of course, bishop takes h2 check. Now, what's so great about bishop h2 check? Well, let's look at what happens if the king takes. King takes h2. Well, now, what was the whole idea of this, right? We wanted to play a check with this knight. So now, knight g5 check. Is that g5? g4, sorry. Knight g4 check, checking the king. So the king has to move. Say the king goes back to the castle. And now, we win the knight back. And we're up a pawn. And we have a massive attack going on the king side. This is just losing. For obvious reasons, right? Like, the only thing attacking my king is this queen. And I have a knight, a queen, and another knight attacking the king. With thoughts of even, like, getting my rooks into the game. So, my opponent, being a 1900, didn't play this line. That knight's there. And my bishop had just taken here. So bishop takes h2 check. My opponent saw all of that, so he goes king h1. And he just accepts the fact that he's not down a pawn, but I've won my pawn back. And I have a nice attack going. Let me just check my notes real quick. So he played king h1. And then I played knight g4. I just continue with the same idea, right? Like, I open up the attack on the knight with my queen, but also my knight's defending my bishop, and my knight's closer to attacking the king. There's sometimes thoughts of sacking here. There's a bunch of stuff, right? There's just pieces by the king. That's good. So after knight g4, he played knight to h3, which is a move I like. He's backing up his knight from danger, and his knight is there to defend his king. After this, there were some thoughts on what I should play. Checking my notes. Oh, okay, I guess I just wrote down that it wasn't the best move, but I didn't say what the best move was. I played queen h4. Just getting, like, stuff going here, right? My queen is one step closer to the attack. Like, his king does not feel comfortable there. I can't remember what the best move was. It might have been, like, knight... Oh, sorry. It very well might have been just, like, knight there, attacking the queen. It makes sense, because then the knight can do other stuff. But whatever, I played queen h4. I wanted to checkmate this fucker, right? I say that in jest. He was a really cool dude. I'm not a toxic chess player, I swear. So queen h4, and he goes knight e2. He's bringing his knight closer to defend his king. Knight e2. Hold on, 1 second. Oh yeah, knight e2. And then I played, well, how do I get more pieces towards the attack, right? Let me adjust the camera. Yeah. There we go. I'll get a better system for this soon. Well, my rooks are too slow to get to the attack, so let's play knight 6 to e5, right? Because this comes with a tempo, right? I'm attacking my opponent's queen, and I'm defending this knight, and it's closer to the king. It does everything. It's an everything move. Always play everything moves. So, knight 6 to e5. And he played queen c5 check. I don't know what this move does. It just gets the queen out of the way with a tempo, I guess. So here, I'm with it, right? I just move my king to the side, and I'm not worried about a thing. Here I'm very comfortable, right? His king's not comfortable. If his king's not comfortable, I'm comfortable. So then he went back to queen c3. Wait, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. King g8. Oh, sorry. This is queen. This is c6. Queen c3. I don't know the point of queen c3. Maybe to attack this knight, and then after this knight moves, maybe taking this knight, but like it's protected by the rook as well, so like that doesn't work. I don't know. Apparently, I don't have what the best move is. For white here, but queen c3 is interesting. I don't know, maybe moving... I don't know. Who the fuck knows, right? Not me. So I just played rook b to d8. I get my unactive rook to a rook in the center. I'm attacking this pawn. There's thoughts of a rook lift and then moving my rook over. I think that was my original idea at the time. He then went knight e to f4. His knights now scissor each other, which is always nice. And his knight is just on a much more active square than knight e2. And then I played rook d6, and I go for this rook lift idea. But apparently bishop takes knight was just winning on the spot. Oh, fuck. Where was this knight? This knight was there. Yeah. Yeah, apparently bishop takes knight was just winning on the spot because I didn't write down why. Let's figure out why. Bishop takes, the knight can't take because it's pinned to the king. So pawn takes. And then what does black have here that's so good? Give you a minute. You look for it as well. I don't know. Maybe you just continue with the rook lift idea. That's what I would play. I can't see the critical line here. So I'm gonna stop looking for it. That's the position. So I played rook d6, lifting my rook, trying to get my rook over. Oh, 1 second as I flip through my notes. All my notes are posted on my Instagram, on my travel log. It looks something like this, and like, you know, I write in cursive, not for the chess stuff, but for like what I did in the day, all my adventures, and I annotate my games. I don't know if they're as in-depth as these videos, but I spend some time with the engine on those ones. So is that right? Rook, whoop, hold on. Yeah, I played rook d6, and then he played the losing move. He had already played the losing move, but he plays the super losing move. He plays f3. Now, f3 is always bad, except for when it's not, because I have that same idea earlier, which is bishop takes f4. And I do that now rather than pawn takes because I wanted to. Because because I wanted to, and that's funny. But because my opponent was calculating I take here, so like I'll do the move he most likely calculated second. And that's just more of a cheat code chess thing. Oh wait, no. I lied to you. I'm so sorry. He had a knight there. After f3, I didn't play bishop takes. All of that psychology I just told you was wrong. It's all a lie. I played e takes f3. And that was losing because here he has to take with the rook, right? Because the pawn is defending this knight. And then even after he takes with the rook, my knight would just take the rook, and then I'm just up in exchange, and like, say my knight takes the rook, he can't even take my knight back, actually, because if he takes with the pawn, right, this knight's now undefended, and my queen takes that, and then like it's checkmate in like 2 or something. You can find the checkmate. It might be mate in 1. I don't know. Oh wait, no, I lied, because it's still, that knight's still protecting it, but not a good position. My knight was there, pawn there, rook there, it backs up, and my pawn's here. This is the live position, and he plays the move that loses on the spot again, which is G takes F3. And can you find the move that does him in, or the combination that does him in? Do find it. The combination is bishop takes knight, because the knight cannot take the bishop because it is pinned to the king. And if the pawn takes the bishop, what was the job of this knight? The job of this knight was to scissor this other knight. But now this knight has no scissor partner. Therefore, the knight is defenseless. So, after bishop takes f3, bishop takes f4, my opponent resigned. Because after queen takes f3 check, it's just mate in 2. Find the mate in 2. I'll give you a couple seconds. Or maybe it's mate in 1, mate in 2. I don't know the notation. But here, king g1 is forced. And then after king g1, can you find the mate in 1 now? Queen, h2, checkmate. This game I'm very proud of. I'm going to turn the camera around now. What to do? Oh, this is strange. I can't see what I'm actually filming. That's, oh, and it's wobbly. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's less wobbly. Oh, it's more wobbly. Okay. I'm just going to hold it. I forgot I can do that. Checking my notes for anything that I said. Oh yeah. I was very proud of this game. It was a new milestone. This is my first game I've ever won against a 1900. This was my second day in my travels, so I saw this as very successful, showing that, like, okay, this is validating, right? I came off on this journey to play strong players and win, and on my second day in my travels in Connecticut, I beat a 1900. Granted, we played 3 games and I lost 2, but I still took 1, and especially it being the Chigorin opening, which was supposed to be my secret weapon against the Queen's Gambit, and it actually worked because of how tricky it was. Like, I got a worse position out of the opening, but because my opponent didn't play the most accurate moves, like, he had to play e4 instead of rook a to c1. In that one small mistake, I was then able to explode and seize the initiative. And then from there, the rest of my moves were easy to find. I didn't play the most accurately in my attack, but I'd like to think it was one of those positions that played itself. As for any other updates, I just spent the day in Philadelphia, which was nice. I met up with my friend, we dialected, I wrote some stuff. I didn't get a chess game. I couldn't find any. There were no chess clubs in the city, I guess, and I went to Rittenhouse Park and Love Park to try to find some games, but there weren't any players there. Sat there with my chessboard, no avail, no takers, so Philadelphia was a bit disappointing. The cheesesteaks were very good. Tried to go to Chinatown to play some Xiangxi. I believe my pronunciation's probably terrible. But I have a board here. Oh, some Chinese chess. It's really fun. Much more free-flowing and harder to calculate. Chinese chess is fun. It's not shogi. Shogi's number 1. It goes shogi, go, chess, Xiangxi. That's the rating system I just came up with now. And now I'm on my way to Pittsburgh to play at the Pittsburgh Chess Club for a quads tournament at 6 p.m. tomorrow. But right now I'm at some overlook in Pennsylvania. I have no idea what city I'm in. I just drove like up a mountain, apparently. Like there's you can't see it, but there's like a cliff thing. I'm overlooking a cliff. Like I'm just parked on a mountain. It's sick. It's too quiet. It's kind of scary. I saw some does and deers as I drove up here. But besides that, I've probably said besides that a good many times now. I have a habit of doing that. Yeah, I needed to finish a journal entry, but that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to end this video. Thank you for watching. If you could subscribe or share or comment or any of that stuff, it would be appreciated. I'm trying to grow this and reach, you know, the niche audience of chess people and van life travel people. I think it's a good market I can capitalize on. I don't want to do that. I don't want to capitalize on the market. I just want to make videos that are fun. This gives me something to do, keeps me busy. It's a fun homework assignment, and it's a further way to document this journey. So with all that being said, thank you for watching.